Welcome to the module on emotional intelligence. Select the device click here to play or pause the module. In this module, we define emotions and emotional intelligence, identify the components of emotional intelligence, practice emotional intelligence to manage self and others. Hi, my name is Avantika and I will be guiding you through the module and will help you in understanding the concept of emotional intelligence. Before starting our journey, let's look at a scenario. Read the scenario carefully. Think about the scenario and choose your response. With the changed scenario, will your response change? Think and respond. On a hot summer day, when you are out shopping and when you enter an air-conditioned showroom, you feel relaxed, and this relaxed feeling triggers an emotion of happiness. You may experience a situation which triggers a feeling, but when you judge this situation, then that judgment along with the corresponding feeling creates an emotion. Emotions are strong feelings deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationships with others. Emotions are our responses to significant internal and external events. Since emotions are our responses to significant internal and external events, thus the very basic nature of our emotions has a cognitive component, is subjective to feelings, and often becomes difficult to describe for some. But at the same time, it allows us to evaluate our pleasant and unpleasant emotions, and at times it becomes difficult to separate our emotions. Emotions affect a broad range of emotions that we experience, which have feelings that are directed at someone or something and which further define our moods. We all display and experience certain basic emotions which range from happiness to sadness, from being surprised to being disgusted, to being angry and being fearful. While we all tend to be emotional, however, at certain times, depending on the place and circumstances and people we are with, we choose how to handle our emotions. We classify our emotions as felt and displayed emotions. From emotions, feelings stem, and feeling is the response part of the emotion. A feeling has no thought or judgment attached to it. One can feel bad or good. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to identify and manage one's own emotions as well as the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence helps individuals to build and maintain relations with their peers and superiors. Earlier, IQ was given preference over EI. Organization also believed that to work effectively, one needs to be rational and emotion-free. It was believed that emotions of any kind were disruptive to organizations. Emotions were only addressed if they were extreme in nature. But as organizations became bigger, there was a sense of realization that humans do not come without emotions, and emotions are equally important. Organizations then started paying more importance towards emotional intelligence. Now that we have understood emotions and feelings, let us understand emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and manage one's own emotions as well as the emotions of others. It helps individuals to manage relations with people around them. But the question is, how does being emotionally intelligent help? When you become aware of your emotions, you tend to have lesser arguments, become sensitive to others, learn to understand others' point of view, and you become emotionally aware and are able to easily maintain friendships and work relations. Our approach to emotional intelligence begins with these 6 principles. Emotion is information. We can try to ignore emotion, but it doesn't work. We can try to hide emotions, but we are not as good at it as we think. Decisions must incorporate emotion to be effective. Emotions follow logical patterns. Emotions are universal. Despite cultural difference among countries, emotional expressions are common worldwide. The first dimension of emotional intelligence is being self aware. Being self aware helps you to know your emotions better and allows you the ability to recognize and identify with your feelings. Being self aware allows you to be more emotionally aware, confident, and being in charge of oneself. Self awareness has the following dimensions to it: emotional awareness, ability to read your own emotions and to understand their impact on your actions, reactions, and decisions. Self assessment, ability to know your own strengths and weaknesses. Self confidence, a sense of self worth and abilities. Let us look at a situation. What would have been an ideal way of handling the given situation? It is important that we take a step back to understand our emotions before acting. Managing your emotions involves using techniques for handling all sorts of feelings in a productive and appropriate manner. Managing your own emotions involves using techniques for handling all sorts of feelings in a productive and appropriate manner. When you learn to manage your emotions in a healthy way, you are able to control impulsive feelings and behaviors, take initiative, follow through on commitments, and adapt to changing circumstances easily. Let us look at another caselet. What is an ideal way of handling the given situation? The next dimension of being emotionally intelligent is about being socially aware. Social awareness is the ability to understand how others are feeling, It also involves your responses to people based on this information. For example, when you sense that someone is feeling sad or miserable, how do you choose to respond to that individual? You might treat them with extra care and concern, or you might make an effort to lift their spirits. Your responses define your awareness of your emotions and that of others. Thus, social awareness is being empathetic towards the others, having organizational awareness, and finally being service oriented towards all your stakeholders. Let us look at a situation. What would have been an ideal way of handling the given situation? Being able to interact well with others is another important aspect of emotional intelligence. The last dimension is social skills, which looks at how we interact with others. Some of the considerations are finding common ground and build rapport, managing relationships and building network, persuasiveness, building and leading teams at workplace. Across the dimensions of emotional intelligence for self and others, certain skills that we need to focus on and develop are active listening. Refers to the art of listening attentively, processing information, asking appropriate questions, and responding appropriately. Verbal communication. Communicating in a face to face through telephonic conversations and email communication, and while communicating, one needs to choose words carefully. Also, we should communicate clearly to get the message across at the right time and in the right manner. Nonverbal communication. Communicating through your facial expressions, hand movements, body language, and postures. Leadership skills. The art of motivating and directing individuals to work towards a common goal. And finally, persuasion skills. Convincing or influencing others to follow a course of action or work towards a common goal. Let's see if you can answer these questions. With the help of this course, you are now able to define emotional intelligence at workplace, identify the components of emotional intelligence, practice emotional intelligence to manage relations. Thank you. Continue learning.